To make this plant hanger, you're going to need 4 cords at 220 centimeters, 1 cord at 150 centimeters, and 2 cords at 50 centimeters. So to start with, I'm going to take the 4 cords that are 220 centimeters in length, and I'm going to fold them in half. And then I'm going to take the 1 cord at 150 centimeters in length, and I'm going to use this cord to make my noose using a wrap knot. So just work out where do you want your wrap knot to start, and that is where I'm going to tie just a normal knot. Okay, and now I'm going to go around creating a wrap knot. So just taking the 150 centimeter length cord and wrapping it around the other 4 cords, and just keep going. You want to make sure it's also a bit tight but not too tight. If it's too loose, it's going to look a bit thicker. So you also want to make sure that as you're tightening it, you keep the tightness the same all the way through. Otherwise you might end up with some bits a bit thicker than others. So as you can see, I've been wrapping it around, but if I was to create my noose, I end up with these gaps. So what you can do is just scrunch these down to make them a bit tighter. So now when I do that, oops, still there. Okay, it's a little bit less, but as we do more of them, eventually those little gaps won't show if we keep tightening it as we go. Right, so keep wrapping it around. Squishing it up. So you can see I don't have those gaps anymore because I keep tightening it as I'm going. It doesn't matter if you have the gaps, just personally I like to close them up. And now I'm going to create a wrap knot noose about 14 centimeters in length, but you can do it shorter or longer if you want a bigger or a smaller handle for your plant hanger. Right, so I think I'm gonna stop there. Okay, and now you can roll this on the floor or on the wall just to neaten it up. Okay, and now what I'm gonna do is create a wrap knot here to hold this in place. So just to prevent it from being too bumpy, I'm going to take out that first knot that we tied as we started the wrap knot. It was just to keep it in place while we were working. So just give it a little tug to tighten it up, and then we're going to hold these extra bits in place. And now I'm going to take the 50 centimeter cords. We'll take one of the 50 centimeter cords and I'm going to create a wrap knot. Doing that. And now again I'm just going to wrap it around as many times as I want, just to get the length of the wrap knot that I desire. just remember that when you seal the wrap knot, it's going to become a little bit shorter. So I usually make it slightly longer than what I actually want, and then put it through that initial loop that we created right at the start. And now I'm going to secure it by pulling on this loop, this cord at the top. Okay, and just tighten that up. And I also like to pull on my long cords just to tighten up these bits here and make sure there's no extra cord sticking out. So just pull on each one. Okay, and now I'm just going to cut these extra bits off. And you can tuck them away. Okay, so there I've created my handle, and now we're going to move on to the rest of the plant hanger. So in the example next to me, I'm now going to show how to create the plant holder. So what we created is up at the top there, and now I've got my 4 cords over there. So I'm going to take 2 cords, and I'm just going to take this pot out to show as an example. So I'm going to take 2 cords and just create a normal knot. So go around and through the loop. Okay. Tighten that up. And there you have the knot. And now I'm just going to repeat that again. And just make sure that the knots are all the same distance from the top, otherwise your plant hanger might be a bit lopsided. Okay, and turn this around so I can do the other 2 cords. Okay. You could tie square knots here or some other kind of cross knots if you wanted to. I've just gone for these because they're nice and simple and they look really cute. Okay, last one. Right, so I have my 4 knots and they're all about the same distance from the top, and I'm going to create my second layer, but this one is slightly different. So now I'm going to take 2 sets of cords that are next to each other, and I'm going to take the 2 inner cords and create the same knot. Okay, and now taking the outer edge of this cord and looking for my next 2 set that will be on its own, and I'm going to use the outer cord from this one and the inner cord from the one I haven't yet connected, and now I'm going to create a knot. Oops, too low down. Okay, so now you end up with a bit of a curtain. So taking my next one here, taking the outer one from the curtain and the inner one from the loose cord here, and I'm going to create my knot. Put that one a bit too low. So you just want to make sure they're all the same height, all the same distance from each other, from the top. And then I've got that, and I'm now going to connect the last two that are next to each other. Okay, and then to finish it off, I'm now going to create a wrap knot. So I'm going to bunch these together and again create a wrap knot. So I form my loop and then I go around as many times as I want. Bring that down a bit. Okay, create my wrap knot. Just go round and round the same as we did at the top, and then put it through that loop that we created and pull it up at the top. And then just neaten it up. And then cut off our extra bits. And then you can put your plant hanger in it. And there you go.